And based on this report, I'll be starting with you, Mr. Dennis. How can you read Putin's speech? He said, this year's parade represents another victory for our nation and for our ancestors. In other words, USSR. Is he looking to bring back the Soviet Union, or this is just a celebration words?
No, I don't think the intention is to bring back the Soviet Union. I think the intention is to prevent what nearly happened to the Soviet Union in World War II. They lost 27 million people in the fight against fascism, along with the Allies in the United States and the UK and others, played a central role in defeating fascism at that time. And I think that they view what is happening in Ukraine today through the prism of that historical experience. And I think they are right to do that. There is much discussion in the media about how this is an unprovoked attack by Putin on Ukraine, and that is simply not true. If you look back 30 years, which the Russians have mentioned repeatedly, when the Soviet Union fell apart, Russia was given repeated assurances by the West, including by the Secretary of State of the United States, James Baker III, that NATO would not move 1 inch to the east, and it guaranteed that there would be no placement of heavy weapons there. NATO did not move 1 inch to the east. It moved 1,000 kilometers to the east. 16 countries later, right at the border of Russia, and repeatedly over this entire 30-year period, especially in the last 2 years, Russia stated that they would feel a systemic danger to their nation if this continued. Russia's warnings were ignored, and the results are what we are seeing in Ukraine. The alternative is clearly at hand, which is a neutral Ukraine, a guarantee of no NATO expansion, and a negotiated peace along the lines of what we in Western Europe and the United States recall as the Treaty of Westphalia from the 17th century, when the security interests of all sides were protected, not just one side. So what happened in Ukraine was indeed provoked. What concerns me more than that history is the fact that the provocations are continuing. The stated intent from the United States, including the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, is to weaken and degrade Russia. And this will simply provoke a situation where Russia is backed into a corner and the danger of nuclear war is moving ahead very rapidly towards 1 minute before midnight.